A wedding video is supposed to be a time capsule of joy, a perfect, polished memory of a perfect day, filled with laughter, happy tears, and promises of a beautiful future. It is a document of love, meant to be cherished for a lifetime. But what if that same video contains something else? What if, hidden within the hours of happy footage, was a dark secret? Their wedding day was a beautiful, sun-drenched affair, surrounded by their closest friends and family. The ceremony was emotional. The reception was joyous. At the center of the celebration was Liam's best man, Mark. A few unguarded words spoken in a moment of drunken celebration that would accidentally unravel a decade of lies. He was the life of the party, charismatic and funny. Liam and Jenna, now happily married, finally sit down to watch their wedding video. He talks about his lifelong friendship with Liam, the groom. "We have been through it all," he says. "I mean everything. We have secrets that will go to the very grave. We know what it means to make a hard choice and stick to it, no matter what." She remembered Liam being inconsolable about 10 years ago. He had come home in the middle of the night, distraught, his car damaged. She found the old articles about the unsolved hit and run. She looked at the date. Her loving husband, the man she had just promised her life to, was connected to this tragedy. She confronted him. At first, he denied everything. But when she played him the clip from their own wedding video, the footage of his best friend's drunken, veiled admission, he broke down. It was the exact same night Liam had come home with his damaged car. The location was on the route he would have taken home from his friend Mark's house. And that sometimes the most damning evidence is not found in a fingerprint or a DNA sample, but in the unguarded words we speak when we think no one is really listening. He had told her he'd hit a deer. It was not enough to convict, but it was enough to bring the men in for questioning. Armed with the new information, investigators played the clip for the other friend who was in the car. His resolve crumbled. He confessed to the entire cover-up. It was a traumatic event, but the timing, she now realized, was eerily close to the hit and run that had killed the young nursing student. Liam was behind the wheel. They hit something, or someone. They panicked. It was Mark who had insisted they drive away, who had engineered the cover-up, who had sworn them all to a pact of absolute silence. That night made us brothers for life. To Liam, the wedding video, a document of love and celebration, had become the state's primary piece of evidence in a decade-old homicide. It was a cinematic, almost unbelievable twist of fate. A secret kept for 10 years, a pact of silence held together by fear, was ultimately destroyed by a moment of drunken sentimentality at a wedding reception. Or seek justice for a woman she had never met, a woman whose family had been waiting a decade for the truth. Her conscience gave her only one answer. With a heavy heart, she took the wedding video to the police. He talks about their shared history, the good times and the bad. And then he says the words that would change everything. They laugh at the footage of their friend's terrible dancing. They tear up at their parents' emotional words. Then comes the time for the best man's speech. But as Jenna watched the video back, months later, in the quiet of her own living room, the words sounded different. Liam brushed it off, saying Mark was just drunk and rambling. But Jenna couldn't shake the feeling. She replayed the 30-second clip again and again. That night made us brothers for life. It wasn't a celebration. It sounded like a confession. A chill ran down her spine. There was a strange intensity in Mark's eyes, a weight behind his words that felt out of place. And she noticed Liam, on screen, looked deeply uncomfortable, almost panicked. The professional videographer, hired to capture every precious moment, dutifully filmed the dancing, the cutting of the cake, and, of course, the speeches. The day was perfect, and the video was a perfect reflection of it, or so it seemed. This is the story of how a video meant to celebrate the beginning of a new life became the key to solving a cold case, exposing a conspiracy of silence and revealing a killer who had been hiding in plain sight for 10 long years. the case quickly went cold, leaving Sarah's family in a state of perpetual grief with no answers and no justice. It was a local tragedy that, over the course of a decade, had faded from the public memory but never from the hearts of those who loved her. This is the story of the wedding video that exposed a decade-long cover-up. Our story begins with what appeared to be a fairy tale wedding. The couple, Liam and Jenna, were deeply in love. A young woman, a 22-year-old nursing student named Sarah, had been killed in a tragic hit-and-run accident while walking home from her late-night shift. The car had been traveling at high speed and never stopped. Mark was Liam's childhood best friend, closer than a brother. To understand the secret hidden in that video, we have to go back 10 years, back to a different night, a dark one. The police investigation found very little evidence. There were no witnesses on the dark country road. Now, let's fast forward back to the wedding. Months have passed. Mark takes the microphone. He's clearly had a few drinks. He's emotional, his speech rambling but heartfelt. He raises his glass and looks at Liam, his voice thick with emotion. At the time, the guests just cheered, interpreting the words as a vague, drunken tribute to male friendship. What night was he talking about? Jenna asked casually. A few days later, a strange, half-forgotten memory surfaced. With a growing sense of dread, Jenna went online and began to search the archives of the local newspaper. The pieces of the puzzle began to click into place with terrifying clarity. The story came pouring out. He confessed everything. He, Mark, and another friend had been driving home that night, drunk and reckless. Jenna was faced with an impossible choice. Protect the man she loved, the husband she had just started a life with. The 30-second clip of Mark's speech was the key that unlocked the cold case. Liam and Mark were arrested and charged. The case stands as a powerful reminder that the truth has a strange way of finding its way to the surface.